Hello everyone, welcome to the podcast of me visiting my students. That is, this is Gautham, who's from Bangalore, and yes, who is also from Bangalore, and we are at the Cuban Park, Cuban Park, right?
Cuban.
Yes. Okay, Cuban Park, and we have come here after the Project Kali meetup on 11th. That is 11th. We had the Project Kali Bhadrakali initiation, and today is 14th. That is, we thought of meeting up again in some park so that we can exchange information regarding spirituality and just discussing topics in general. So, first of all, how was the Bhadrakali initiation? Did you feel any changes in your Kundalini?
Oh yeah, so the first thing that I noticed when I closed my eyes, so this I'm talking when you started with the actual initiation. So it happened so that I was the first one to get initiated. So the moment I closed my eyes after you did the preliminary steps, I saw a hooded cobra. Okay, it was not exactly a king cobra, but it was a snake, I would say, but it was pretty large, and it had its hood raised towards me, and that was the starting point. And after that, yes, I just went deeper. I didn't focus much on the experiences as such, but that initial experience was mind-blowing. I mean, I would see snakes in my meditations or during my mantra japa chanting, but to see that at the beginning was a surprise, and it was really good. I mean, to see a snake, and then we also link it with Kundalini energy. So after that happened, when I went back home, I googled that. I asked ChatGPT what is the significance of seeing a hooded snake right when you start meditating, and it gave up with an explanation. But regardless of that, I think that experience really stands out from the previous experiences. So yeah, that was a really great beginning.
During initiation, what happens is I have to raise my Kundalini along with their Kundalini, and I have to transfer my Kundalini energy, that is from my Sahasrara. It has to go above to the Vaikuntha Loka, and it has to come down again to your Sahasrara chakra, and it has to fall on the Sahasrara part, that is the Brahmarandra, and it has to make a hole. So basically what I do during the initiation is I widen the Sahasrara so that whenever you meditate, you can connect with the deities better, because only Sahasrara and Ajna Chakra are the ways to connect with astral and causal entities. So that's why widening of the chakras is necessary during the initiation. So Gautham is in which month?
In the program, right?
Yeah.
2.5, the third month.
Bhatuk Bhairav.
Correct.
So how is it going on? Which deity connected with you the most?
But if I have to say among the 3 months for the 3 deities that I have had, each of them had unique experiences, but I was able to connect strongly with Uchishta Ganapati. After that, Tripura Bhairavi, until I forced her to talk to me or like me or whatever you want to call it, so she didn't respond. But then I went ahead and explored more about her and understood what she is all about, and then she became very not friendly in a sense, but she got closer to me, and I was able to connect with her well as well. But that friendly nature with Uchishta Ganapati, that imagination that I used to have while doing his japa was very different. With Tripura Bhairavi, it was like I said, I had to use that force. And I also watched one of your Agora method videos, and then I imagined myself being chopped. I was chopping my head and doing all sorts of stuff in my during my meditation. So yeah, all those things happened. But yeah, Uchishta Ganapati, I would say, was like a pretty strong bond that I was able to build on.
Yeah.
During meditation as well, meaning while chanting, so I would feel certain sensations in the body, which were a mixture of multiple things. So I would feel warmth whilst I was feeling cold. So I can't describe that feeling. But yeah, those were few new experiences that I had. And yeah, all thanks to Uchishta Ganapati for making me go through all those things.
What about Yashas?
About me. So now I'm in the 6th month,
Kamala.
Lakshmi month. What I would say is UG, I had a very very tough actually. I connected with UG in about the third and a half week or something. The thing is, I was so once in the second week, I got fed up. Why is this guy not connecting with me? Nothing is happening. At 4 a.m., 4:30 something. Then I tried to, as Gautham said, force your way in. It was as if I barged into his house at the third week, I would say. Then he called me into his house. We sat. I would say that is the most real experiences I've had with any other deities. Like, I actually felt that was the reality, not this how you see the world. That is exactly how I was seeing with UG. But I would say with Bhairavi, the thing is, first mala, first day I connected with Bhairavi, direct. No, there was no problem. I went directly into her house. She was sitting on a swing, swinging around. As Aditya said, she was not some auntie or old. I felt she was young and brimming with vitality. So I even asked her, why is your description not like the one in the photo of our groups that we have, of the initiated members? This was her answer. Since I am the person who is the base of the stability, Shakti for stability, I have to be young and flexible and rigid for this. That's what that was her answer. And yeah, with TB, I conversed long times. Although the japa felt 30 minutes, was of 30 minutes to an hour, I felt I was there for days. I felt with TB.
Have you tried the Agora method?
Yes, I tried it with Batuk Bhairav. Batuk Bhairav, this guy, he refused to connect with me at all. Until the 4th week, nothing, no connection, no Kundalini, nothing whatsoever. But at the last day, I was like, this is your chance. If you don't connect with me, I'm not coming to you ever again. To Batuk Bhairav, the last day of my 3rd month. So that day, I visualized him. You know Smurfs?
Yeah.
Have you seen the movie? Yeah.
Blue creatures.
Yeah. For some reason, he came to me in that form as a Smurf. I was like, bro, why you like this? He's like, just go with it. And we were at a playground, and he was on the swing. He was like, come stand here. I went in front of the swing, like the ones you swing around in the parks you've seen, right? He started swinging the thing. It went around once, around. I was like, bro, what are you doing? Stop that, get off. He didn't. Then after a long while, he came down. Then he was just playing with me. He didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. We just played there for a while. Then end of sadhana. That was my Batuk Bhairav month. Kamala, it was a bit, what do you say? Not Kamala. Kamakala Kali. It was like, what do you say? Interesting. It was interesting. I'll tell you that. Of course, you know, Kamakala Kali, Swadhisthana Chakra. All about sex, all about sexual energy, virya, and all of that. Although I did waste my virya a lot in that month. But you can feel the Kundalini surging when you do her mantra. She kind of dances around your chakras, I felt. She'll go up, she'll go down, she'll come down. She'll play with it when you're in that month. And I had this weird visual, I would say. This is the first deity that had a palace in my dreams. She had her own, what do you call, mansion, palace, whatever. It was made of ivory, the one I saw at least. If this isn't my fabricated imagination at that point. It was a palace of ivory, and she had her own quarters in the thing. We went inside, conversed. She was kind of running a brothel, I would say. I was confused, but then she was like, this is the depiction. This is where it's important. There was the first floor of all these couples having sex on random objects, on a chair, on a sofa, and all of that. There was this elevation, huge stairs. She was sitting on top of that and like looking down on this. So I was like, it might be a depiction for you to rise above this and go beyond sexual procreation as a human, I felt. And yeah, it was Kamakala Kali. It was so hard to by heart the mantra. So hard. But I tried. I got it in, I would say, 3 days. I was perfect with the mantra. It's this long mantra where you guys will know if you're in it. You will understand. That was good. What else is there after that?
Panchamukhi Hanuman and Kamala.
I'll finish that off quickly. Yeah, Hanuman. Hanuman's mantra is also long, as you guys would have predicted. Similar to the Uchishta Ganapati mantra, but longer, I feel. He was a bit tricky to connect, and he wasn't like the normal Hanuman you see in the photos, in the pictures. He wasn't like that. He was this dark-skinned and hairy guy, and not like a human. I didn't see him as a human. He was like, I would say, orangutan to human mid-evolution, something like that you can imagine. He had this orange cheeks and white eyebrows and white beard. And he was like very chill. Do you know the story with Bhima and Hanuman?
Yeah.
You can pretty much visualize him like that. That's the kind of thing I think I saw him. He was an old guy.
Old monkey who is unable to move.
But this guy was moving, but he was old. Good experiences with him, but he had a six-pack though. He was ripped and had a six-pack.
Oh.
This guy, although he was old. Yeah, so I didn't talk much with him, with Panchamukhi Hanuman. I didn't see him with the 5 faces. I saw him with the 1 face, Ekamukhi. And very minimal interaction. He just sat in front of me to shut up and not talk and just meditate. He told me. Now currently I'm in the Kamala month. The thing about Kamala month is I think she's kind of trying to test me. Every time I meditate, I see a different person. A new, I would say she's sending her matrakas in every meditation, and she's saving herself for the last, or will she come or not, I don't know. This month is supposed to be it's about to end, Kamala for me. But every time I've seen her, it's a new person, a new appearance, a new vibe, a new energy. But with riches, obviously. They're all decorated with diamonds, jewels, rubies, all the things you can think of. Yeah, that's pretty much it about now.
It's just really covered so many things. So he covered about his experiences, the way he was seeing things or was visualizing or imagining. So we have heard about that, and now I have a question about that. So whatever we see, whatever we experience, or whatever we feel, right? So these things, are they our imagination, or are they our way of teaching ourselves to evolve, or to tell ourselves that we already have answers to whatever questions you are asking, but now, yes, you are chanting and you are also meditating, and now you are also visualizing or imagining. So all of these things are happening together. And the question, like I asked earlier, is it a way of ourselves, questioning ourselves to answer for ourselves, so that we know how we are doing with the sadhana, 1, and 2, where is the next, where can I find the next answer? Okay, I have seen through all these images, I have seen through all these dialogues, I have been there, but now
What is more?
What's more? What's next? So I know I have this creativity, I'm able to produce that in my head, I'm able to see that. So what is the stage beyond that? The first question was, why am I doing it? Or is it I am the one who is doing it? Or are the deities interacting to us in that way? Or is it some other dimension where we enter, and if we have to enter there, we'll have to go through this process, and when we reach there, what is the next thing after that? So that's the question, because I liked how he explained each and everything, and his experiences were really unique and very creative. So I was entering that world, because when I connect with deities, right, it is not going to be like this. So I wouldn't enter any house or anything as such. I couldn't imagine that much. All I could see were maximum few caves and some visuals which were not under my control. So they were happening like it would happen in a movie and you're just a spectator. So I was seeing that, and I couldn't contribute to that film, whatever was happening, that much. So yeah, considering that, I was very much interested to ask these questions and get your input.
Yeah, the thing about those imagination is, we question that we question whether it's real or fake, or is it a construct of our mind. But then at the same time, we forget that even the physical world that we are living in is a part of the imagination itself. That is, when for physical realm to exist, your 5 sensory organs must produce that imagination. That is, we are all Vishnu, right? So we are all creators basically. So when we open our 5 senses, we create this physical world. Then we believe in it. We believe in it so strong that we consider our imaginative world as fake. That's so contradicting concept, because if we are believing in one imagination, then we have to believe in other imagination also.
But this is imagination inside imagination.
Yeah, it's very transient, right? I mean, it's temporary, like Aditya said. We believe it that it's so strong that that's happening. Okay, should we pause?
No, it's fine, I guess.
Until the baby.
I mean, I think the microphone is not capturing the baby crying. Anyways, what we were saying, so when a first Vishnu doesn't dream. So when Vishnu doesn't dream, he is Shiva. So that is in the Brahman, vibrationless Brahman, that is truth, Satyaloka. Vishnu doesn't dream. So Vishnu is in the Shiva form. When Vishnu starts dreaming, he goes to the Vaikuntha Loka, that is the causal realm. So in the Ksirasagara, that is inside the Garbha of Tripura Sundari, there are several Vishnus in the causal realm who are dreaming. So there they start dreaming. They are using the Mahavidyas. So in the causal realm, there are all the set of Mahavidyas, the desire forces, that is Tripura Bhairavi representing desire for food, Kamakala Kali desire for sex, Mahavidya Kamala desire for power, and Kali, Baglamuki, Dhumavati, Bhuvaneshwari representing desire for love, Matangi, Tara representing desire for communication and knowledge, the Chinnamasta represent desire to think, and finally Shorasi representing desire to exist. So these desire forces exist in the causal realm, and this Garbhodaksha Vishnu uses these raw materials to dream, uses the Mahavidyas to dream in the causal realm. Then comes the astral realm. So astral realm is the realm of emotion and intellect. So that is the imaginative world that we are talking about, that is during sadhana. That is when we close our eyes and when we do mantra japa, the imaginative world we go through, right, in dreams or while thinking. So that is the astral realm. So astral realm has different layers. One layer is the conscious astral, that is when we close our eyes and meditate, that's the conscious astral. Then there is subconscious astral, that is when you dream, that is when you sleep, you go to the subconscious mind. So subconscious is even more huger than the conscious. But what we are doing is, during sadhana, we are expanding the conscious to the subconscious level. That is, we are becoming more and more aware of the dreams also. That's called as lucid dreaming. So when we go to the astral realm, we are completely aware. So that is the result of sadhana. When you do sadhana, you are becoming more and more conscious, even in the astral realm. So we are expanding our consciousness basically. Now our consciousness is not developed enough to understand the astral and causal realm completely. That is why it only believes in the physical realm. So if I tell a human being that there exists astral and causal realm, he will not believe, because his consciousness is not developed enough to understand the other realms, but he believes completely in the five sensory world. So that is what every student asks me. That is, they ask whether during sadhana, whatever I am seeing, is it real? But so the contradicting fact is the five sensory world which you are seeing right now is also a part of imagination, but you are believing it. That's it.
Aditya, in one sentence, how would you answer his question?
That's question. What. If you're gonna believe, then believe everything. If you don't want to believe, don't believe anything. So Shiva is the person who doesn't believe anything. All the Vishnu's dream, right? All the three realms, all are fake only. So if you're gonna fake one thing, fake everything. But if you're gonna believe one thing, like if you believe in physical world, then you have to believe in astral and causal also, because that is also a part of the dream. And the next question was?
What's next?
The next is, the whole point of sadhana is to completely stop dreaming. So if you have seen in temples, right, like Vishnu temples, they put Vishnu in cradle and they do that jojo. What is that? Lullaby. That what it signifies is, we are making the Garbhodaksha Vishnu sleep. He is not sleeping. He is continuously dreaming, creating Maya. And who is this Vishnu? We are only that Vishnu. We are collectively creating this stable dream, and that's why we put him to cradle, so that finally he sleeps completely into deep sleep. That is Yoga Nidra, and he doesn't dream at all. So that is the next stage. Next stage is not dreaming at all. When you stop dreaming, you achieve Nirvikalpa Samadhi. That is pure thoughtless state of existence. And once you achieve that, your astral body will become active and you pop up in the astral planets. Because Mother Nature has got to know that you have cracked the code of physical realm. You have realized the physical realm is completely fake. So what Mother Nature will do to you is she will respawn you in a planet which is more subtler than the earth physically. So that's how we achieve Samadhi and transcend.
Yes, that answered a lot of my questions. I have many follow-up questions, but I'll keep it for another day, because so many things were arising in my head when you were saying certain things. So now, shall we go on to my paranormal experiences?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So these happened, I will share two of them. So these happened when I was in school. So probably in 2006 to 8 time frame. So the first experience was a very funny one. So I was in 6th standard or 6th grade, for some of them who doesn't know what standard is here. So So when we were in that uh, level, so I was probably 12 or 13 years. I don't remember the exact age. So what happened is we were very much interested in becoming Ghostbusters sort of a group in our class. So we were a group of 5 guys. So we were almost towards the end of our year. So we thought, let's do something funny, interesting, and then in our locality, right? So there is this huge farm slash garden sort of a thing. Now it's taken over by these big builders, and 8 towers are standing tall there. But yeah, before that it was a very, it's a coconut plantation, I would say. Yeah, so that's what it was. So it had a folklore, or it had a urban legend that the owner of that land had 7 or 8 wives, and he started murdering all those wives except for one of them, and every one of them were there as spirits moving around, and including this guy. So that was the story. So that really caught our interest, and we were very curious. We were also watching Ghostbusters and all these other shows. What was the one on Nickelodeon? There was this one show particularly, so that inspired me to start that crew in my class. And we even had a name for our group, Colombian Hunters. So we saw that in movies you would see, right, that studio of Columbia Pictures from Sony. So I took that, and then Hunters came out of nowhere, and then we just merged it and called it some random group name. So that was our group. We even had our own weapons designed to attack what was potentially going to hurt us, in this case some monstrosity or some spirit or whatever. So that was the whole thing. So we had a proper plan. We had a hierarchy of who would do what, and who would start with the investigation and all that. So it was like a pure drama that we had created because we were so bored. And yeah, so the investigation started with us first entering that farm. The 3 of us entered, and it was a very beautiful place. Okay, so we found a small gate from our side of the area, and then we entered. So as we entered, it was full of greenery, and there were many coconut trees, standing tall, and we really liked the view. As soon as we proceeded a little further, there were at least 10 to 12 dogs. They were just lying there, and one of the dogs picked up on our movement, and it raised its ears, and then it started barking. That really was the trigger. So we didn't want to get bit, so we ran, and we continuously kept our pace. But this path was so narrow that one of my friend hit a coconut tree, and then he fell down, and he had a mini injury there. So somehow we managed to escape the other 2. So me and another friend. This guy came out later. So that was day 1, and then
We went back after that.
Yeah, next weekend. So every Saturday or every Sunday we would do this. So this time it was me, the guy who hurt himself, and one more different guy. So the 3 of us went and took the main actual entrance to that farm. So there, coincidentally, we met the grandkids of that supposedly owner of the land, and then continue. And then we were discussing with them, and we got to know that they were his grandchildren, and the conversation was good, but it didn't really give that energy or vibe, or it didn't itch the area of what we were expecting. So I thought, okay, let's make something out of this, and I came back home. So this was the actual time when we started writing down. So I took a piece of paper, and then I wrote the layout of the land. It was a very vague sketch, and then I drew a line. I mean, I covered 3/4 of the page, and then whatever was remaining, I filled it with my observations. So nothing unusual happened there, okay, with the interaction with the grandkids. It was just a normal interaction. We got to speak to 2 little kids. They were younger than us, but I made certain assumptions and said, okay, while I was asking this question, the grandkid, there were 2 of them. One was a boy, the other one was a girl. So the boy's eye turned so and so color, and this other girl was behaving in such a manner. So I was making the stuff up. So yeah, that.
Were you making it up?
Yeah, I was making it up. I was writing it down. Nothing happened as such. Okay.
This was your imagination.
That was my imagination, plus I wanted some drama to happen with my friends. So I wrote that down. I took it to school. I gave it. I showed it to them, and then everyone was kind of okay. They also kept on adding their nonsense into it. So it became like a consolidated story. So it was at that stage, and then we went silent for some time. Until that point, I was not scared of any spirits, any ghosts, nothing. I was very much confident, and I had no fear, to be honest, until that point. So as this proceeded until maybe 1 or 2 months after this note taking happened. So what happened is I used to go to washroom, around 11:30 or 12 o'clock.
In the
There
night.
was this, at home. There was this mirror which was hung outside, just outside the bathroom. So I would come out and then I would look at myself with that dim lit light coming from the washroom. So I used to look at that, and I would keep looking at my face, and it would start taking different shapes. Yeah,
Is this your like?
I don't know what was happening. I was not scared of that. I would look at it and then it would change its shape. I mean, if you see my face, it's sort of
V.
ovular or whatever, but it would become circular, or it would start to disfigure in a way. I was kind of happy by looking at it, but as days went on, it started affecting me. So I knew something was going wrong, and then I started to feel fear out of nowhere. For some reason, I was feeling scared of something. I don't know. Randomly, I would get scared, and then that used to happen. I wasn't able to understand what was happening to. So I went to my mother, and then I told her, okay, so I explained the whole story. So this is what we did. So this is the thing that I wrote down. So this is layout, all this. So she looked at me and she said, "What's this nonsense? Just go and burn this thing off," is what she said. So I took that sheet. I took a huge matchbox, home light matchbox. I took it and went outside. So there was this passage behind our house. So I placed the paper there, and then I started
Burning.
scratching the match. What do you call that? So I was doing that action, and then it didn't light for some reason. The matchsticks didn't catch fire.
None of how many?
After multiple same stick, I tried multiple attempts. It didn't catch fire. So at that point, I don't know, something was rushing inside me, and then the whole environment felt very silent. Clothes were hung on the hanging that line. So my uncle's shirt was there. I moved slightly, back, and then I felt that shirt touching my arm, and then I got scared. Then I looked back, and then it looked like a figure, but I understood, okay, it's just a shirt. And then I took a few deep breaths, and then I started igniting it again. Now it caught fire, and then I also lit that paper with fire. It started burning, and suddenly it felt like I teleported to some region or some dimension where there was absolutely no sound. Okay, it was completely soundproof. And then at the back of my mind, I heard a yelling or cursing in a masculine voice. Okay, it was a bad word. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, sure.
So
In
it
Kannada?
said in Kannada, "Nannನ್ನೇ ಸುಡ್ತೀನ ಲೌಡಕ್ಕೆ ಬಾಲ್."
What?
ನನ್ನನ್ನೇ ಸುಡ್ತೀಯೇನೋ ಲೌಡಕ್ಕೆ ಬಾಲ್. So that's what I heard. I don't know if it was my imagination or what. So, and then I felt somebody was pushing me, physically, on this side of the arm, and then I felt that jerk, and then I got completely scared at that point. I left the paper there. I ran, and then I rammed myself to the wall while taking a turn, and then came back and I sat. Then that was a horrific experience. I tried to forget about that. I didn't talk about it with anyone, but it somehow vanished like that. After this, a few months later, so I went to my college washroom. So there it was completely dark. There was no power. So we had shared washrooms. So I had to use one, it was a small one. So I entered, and then there, when I was inside, it was pitch dark. Okay. So I was peeing, I was relieving myself, and it took a long time because I had held it for a few hours because I had to stay in the class. So it was going on. I was closing my eyes, relaxing, enjoying the moment. And then I started slowly opening my eyes, and whatever was pitch black now started taking some forms. Okay. So initially it was completely dark. So then a shape formed in front of me. So that shape, it was still black, but it had a figure of a lady who would have her hair, what do you call that? Left hand tied, yeah. And then that was just standing facing me. And one more shape took form here on the left side. So it has like a circular face, probably a man, you would say. And then one more shape this side. So this on the right side and the one on the front didn't do anything. But this one, it started bowing and trying to pick up something. When I looked down, it was aiming for the wrong area. I didn't know why it was doing.
Aiming for?
The wrong area. It was trying to pick up something. Okay. I was peeing.
It tried to pick up your...
Whatever, yeah. It looked like that. But, I mean, why would it do that? Or whatever the imagination was, it was totally messed up. So then that really scared the shit out of me, and it tried to bring back all those memories that I had previous to this. And I got shit scared, and then I came out running. And then I found two of my friends also doing the same thing. Like, they were also scared, but I knew for sure they didn't see all these things happening, but they were scared.
Why were they scared?
It It was dark. It was completely dark.
It was in the evening or morning?
No, it was in. It was around 2 or 3 o'clock in the noon, right before we were going out.
What do you make of this?
So yeah, that was like a deep wound in my mind. So it's a weird experience, but yeah. So one thing led to one other thing, and then
But seeing ghost without Ajna Chakra activation is very difficult. I guess your Ajna Chakra was a bit active during that age also.
yeah, I mean even before that, I mean I'll just divulge a little bit. Astrologically speaking, I was running through Ketu Mahadasha. Okay, after I was 2 or 3 years old, immediately started with Ketu Mahadasha. So during that phase, I used to see random stuff. Okay, once there were during that time I had a favorite movie actor called Shashi Kumar. He's from Kannada. So he was. I was watching almost all of his movies during those days. I was very small at that time. So I had this very bad fever. I was admitted to hospital once or twice for the same fever. So once I was sleeping and then I was abruptly woken up to something. When I opened my eyes, there was this attic. Okay, so there he was sitting. Shashi Kumar was sitting. He was in a black gown or nightie, and then he was waving at me. So I was seeing that. I don't know what to make out of that. I called my aunt and I said, okay, look at that. I can see him. He's waving at me. She looked at me and picked me up and she took me to this Garbhagriha. I mean, small
Temple.
mini.
I mean,
Not
Mane-
temple. What the one that
Mane, Devar Mane.
yeah. What do you call that? That small setup at home. Puja
room.
Puja room. Yeah. She took me there. She sprinkled water on my face and then she made me chant Narsimha mantra and did all that. So yeah, it happened even then. But what I would say is whenever there is some element of Ketu in my life, right, I would start to experience all these things.
True. Ketu means it's spirituality, right? Basically, whatever is spiritual gets opened in your life, which may be Ajna Chakra, and also detachment, I guess, Ketu represents.
Right.
Whereas Rahu represents all the illusions, fame,
Obsession.
regarding materialism. So yeah, maybe Ketu Mahadasha does that, and also Ketu represents some kind of tragic event, right? Like during Ketu Mahadasha, and Shani and Ketu are like tragic events, they say.
Yeah, sort
I
of.
think I
Ketu
have
is
my-
much more. What do you say? You could say Shani is a little bit milder, but Ketu is much more harsher in terms of teaching you or giving you experiences. If Shani says, okay, do that, or else I'm going to beat you with this stick, Ketu is like, I'm going to chop your leg off if you don't do it. It's like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I have understood it.
True. And that too, like during your childhood, it happened. That Ketu Mahadasha. So it may be very intense. Usually, Ketu Mahadasha happens around the old age. So that is when people die. That is during Ketu Mahadasha, when it is in the old age, right? That is usually the period when people die, like fall into accidents or get some organ failure or something like that. Whereas Shani is all about karmic payback. Like whatever you did in life, you will get it back exactly on
That much.
Sade Sati, and that is
What is
the
Sade Sati actually?
It's
Many
seven
people,
and
it's a
half-
buzzword in the astrological industry. I know that.
Yeah, it's a 7.5 time period
Years.
of Saturn's influence on your natal moon.
On your?
Natal moon. When I
What
say
is it?
natal moon, you have a horoscope, right? You have your
Kundalini.
birth chart, your Kundalini. So in that, wherever your moon is placed, so the next sign after that, that particular sign, and the sign before that. If Saturn is transiting at this point of time over those 3 signs, then it is considered Sade Sati. So it will have stages. So if it enters the previous sign of your natal moon, so that is the beginning. When it is on your inside your sign, then it is you are running the actual Sade Sati, and then next stage is the end. That is the conclusive stage.
Yeah.
So that's how it is. 2.5 years in each sign.
Thanks, Gautham, for joining this podcast, and even Yashish for joining this podcast. It was a very interesting one in Cubbon Park, and we'll be continuing podcast episodes in YouTube Live again. And also, thank you, all of you, for joining this podcast till this point. Yeah, we'll meet in the next video. Yeah, Jai Mahakal.
Jai Mahakal.
Jai Mahakal.